Hey everybody, welcome back to FL Teams. We had a couple weeks where we could not film this, but we are back here with Friday Frenzy. I'm Jeff Macolino, and with us is Chad Patrick, the owner and founder of WeWinYouWin.com. We're going to dive into some college football games. Before we get into everything, we have to first just express our thoughts, prayers, condolences. Amir Abdur Rahim passed away yesterday as we're recording this, and just a devastating news for everyone who knew the man, had the as I did, had the opportunity to talk to the man. He was just tremendous person, tremendous personality. Too young for something this tragic to happen. So all of our thoughts and well wishes are with USF and with the Abdur Rahim family and all of his former players, coaches, current players, coaches, and everyone who knew the man. It was devastating, terrible news. So start off by addressing that. But
Yeah, and for his kids, I mean, that's who I feel I mean, at the end of the day, obviously he impacted a lot of young men's lives positively, but his own blood children are the ones that are probably going to be the deeply affected. I don't know how old they are, but it doesn't matter. Um, that's a loss that they'll never. There ain't enough therapy in the world to overcome that. Okay, so
yeah,
prayers out for the kids and the families that are affected. But glad to be back with you, Jeff. You made it through a couple hurricanes there, I think.
yeah.
Uh,
As we're not in the same location of the house, but
well, me
we're
neither. I'm in
making it work.
a hotel. The Holiday Inn, baby. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, baby. Come on, girl. Anyways, um,
We're making it happen.
yeah, we're here. We're fucking, baby. We fucking. We fucking. Let's go.
The weather can't stop us. Um, Chad, just in case you didn't see the first episode, Chad Patrick, I mentioned WeWinYouWin.com. He's been putting his picks on Facebook for 2 decades now. Consistent win rate, 62 to 64%, which is fantastic. A few years ago, he got a little more serious, built his little algorithm, and took it to another level with WeWinYouWin.com. And he is gracious enough to come on and share a little info with us to prepare us to maybe make some money this weekend with some college football games.
And what a perfect time. And I'm glad we didn't do last week because last week was my first losing week in college football this year. So I'm glad we didn't have a show. Ugh.
Well,
Um,
that just worked out for us.
yeah. So what are we? 9 weeks in. I've been 7 profitable weeks, 1 losing week. That was last week. I'm looking for a bounce back. There's a couple games here that I've thrown in outside of Florida that I think you're gonna have an interest in that we should maybe be fucking pounding. Let's go. Anyways, if you're new to the show, first time tuning in, here's the grading scale over there for you. Basically, what I've done is I use 9 advanced metric statistics, whatever you want to call them, and I plug them into a whatever you want to call it, algorithm, formula, whatever. Look, it's all fucking pen and paper, bro. That's what I do. Anyways, I then put that into a grading scale. Think of a pendulum, right? It can go to 10 on either side. So if a team's plus 10, like the favorite, that's fucking amazing. Where if it's a zero, it's like neutral. And if they're minus, or if the dog is the plus, right? That's like the pendulum swinging the other way. Then, based upon where that pendulum is, right? If it's a plus 6, 5, 4, whatever, I've then, through years of just trial and error and fucking with it, um, landed on where these numbers are most likely to represent where you should be betting. And again, if you don't know, I do all this information prior to ever knowing what the lines are or anything. If you are in our community, I actually put out a recording where I go through, so it's very transparent. But I put out a recording where I go through every single grade with these folks and go through it. There's a lot of open discussions. There's a game we're going to go over today, the BYU UFC game. We're going to probably be on that one for a while. We had a very in-depth conversation in our community about that game, and I do want to share some of that information and insight that we had in the community with your people as well. But
Excellent.
let's get into the biggest Florida game we got on the fucking schedule, and that's Florida State and the U. I said this last time I was on your show. Nothing's fucking changed. I am as high on fucking Miami, the Canes, baby, as you can be. It's no surprise that Florida State's having a down year. Anybody that even knows anything about college football knows that Florida State's having a down year. That's
Yeah.
obvious, right? Also, you probably know that Miami's having a good year, but here's the problem. Miami's defense is terrible.
They've been squeaking by lately.
Well, Cam Ward, Heisman Trophy winner, Cam Ward will be. And again, if he's not, then the guy from BYU or not, Boise State will be.
Yeah.
I've got both of them at 10-1. I think they're 3 or 4-1 now. So again, I think it's 4 years in a row now I've had the Heisman Trophy winner. I will have. This is the first year I'm actually do not have the both sides of the World Series. I'm only on the Yankees. I would refuse to bet the Dodgers, but if I hit, this would also be 4 years in a row where I've had the World Series winner. And then hockey, where we're not. Well, we're starting hockey, but I've got a few fillers out there, and I can hit you with that. By the way, since you're in Florida, Tampa Bay Lightning is one of the futures on hockey. I got them at 25-1. I think that's
Nice.
a fucking steal.
That's my team.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them personally. I'm a Detroit Red Wings guy, but we stole a coach from you, which I like. So, anyways, we're getting. By the way, hockey is my number one sport on profitability. I don't personally. College football is my favorite as a fan, as whatever. Hockey is my biggest moneymaker. And I know maybe 6 players. I can name maybe 6 players. I don't like. I'm so bad at hockey names and shit like that.
Their names get a little complicated.
Well, here's the problem. So for those that don't know, in my home I have maybe 5 TVs and then a projection screen. So I literally have, and then they can be split up. So like on an NFL Sunday, if I really wanted to have 12 games on at once, I could. And I'm not talking like little boxes. I'm talking like 65-inch TVs and whatever. Anyway, hockey, I do this as well, but I don't ever have the sound on. So if you ever watch games with no sound on, you don't really learn the players' names and things like that. You're watching, you're paying stuff. Anyways, I do 0 player props in NHL. It's straight puck lines, money lines, and over unders. Where we get into NFL or things like that, we're doing a lot of player props. So I know a lot of players in the NFL and things like that. But hockey, you got 2 Chuck brothers. You got the 2 brothers that died. So I don't even know. They don't even count.
Gaudreau, yeah.
Yeah. And then you got Larkin for Detroit. And I think everybody else I know is retired. Like, so I was a big Red Wings fan growing up. We can, by the way, I hope your guy edits all this out, but we're going to get this off and then we get into football. The 90s for Detroit Red Wings was that was amazing. And I knew all those guys and I went to a bunch of games and loved it. And that's where I really fell in love with hockey and the Red Wings. So, all right, let's get into why people are really here. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Hopefully your guy can edit that out. Miami, Florida State going down. I believe they are in Coral Gables for this game, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to tell you is first things first, let's look at what the lines are, okay? Miami minus 21.5. And again, this is as of Tuesday, so I don't know if these might have changed a little bit. Over under 54.5. Again, always shop the books, always shop around. Now, again, if you're in Florida, I think the only legal book is Hard Rock, so you're a little whatever. Hand tied,
little limited, yeah.
Yeah, but there's offshore options. I'm not going to say or suggest any particular, but there are options out there for you. If you're outside of Florida, obviously, please shop those lines, especially because we're going to do some alt lines here on some of these games, and there's going to be 20 cents on the dollar, 15 cents on the dollar difference between books. That makes a difference even if you're only betting a few $100. I mean, we're talking about an extra $30 in your pocket. That's dinner. You know what I mean? So that, to me, that makes a difference. So, all right. The thing that should jump out to you, or at least to me, that did to me, is the over-under. I had this at 62.5. I think this game is over and over. You know, when I mean over, I mean like points, a lot of points. Miami is going to be in the 30s in this game. They're going to put up somewhere in the 33 to like 37 points. The problem is, I know they can't stop nobody, right? That's pretty public knowledge. Florida State's offense is nothing sexy, but they can't get into the 20s. So, anyways, I see this game. So, okay, forget what I'm saying. Let's use the sports books for a second, right? They're thinking that Miami should win this game by 3 touchdowns, right? That's what they're saying. They're also saying there should be 54 points. So, if they're correct, you would basically need a 21-point difference between the two teams that equivalates to 54 points, roughly, is what you're saying. So that would be what, 30? I'm doing this right off the top of my head. So 30.
Mid-30s to mid-teens or something?
Yeah, no, it had to be high 30s. It'd be like 30, let's say 38. I'm just
Oh,
going to,
54 and a half. Yeah.
yeah, so let's say 38 minus 21 is 17. That gets you to 55, right? 38 and 17 is 55. That's
Yep.
essentially what the odds makers are saying this game should be, 38 to like 17, roughly. Okay. Not so fast, my friend. Miami's given up more than 17 points to Florida State here. For sure. For sure. I think Florida State gets in the 20s. I also, even though the plus grade 6 here for Miami means take Miami, do not fucking touch Miami. They can't cover 3 touchdowns against a high school team. I'm telling you. And Florida State's got nothing to fucking play for. This is a huge fucking rivalry. If Florida State can't get up for this game, they might as well just quit the rest of the season, right? This is their bowl game. This is it. This is it. They can ruin the Hurricane season. That's what they're playing for, right?
Yeah.
Kill a rival's dream season. That's what they're playing for. I think they can keep it within 3 touchdowns, but there's no way I'm betting Florida State here. So let's be very clear. If you want to be on Miami, get on the right side of 21 points. Frankly, I'd feel much more comfortable if this line was more like 2 touchdowns. Again, I have zero trust for the defense. I have all the trust in the world for Cam Ward and that offense. The play here, and it's a pretty big play, is we're going fucking over. We're going hard on the over. And I don't know if they can read it here, but I'll read it for them. Going over, Miami will score in the 30s, and their defense sucks. That's not even debatable. They have one of the best offenses in college football, maybe one of the best quarterbacks, college football quarterbacks, and a defense that can't stop anything. Can't stop anything. Not running, not deep, not anything. So let's get into the numbers. And here's what fucks with me, because Florida State is not better in any category than Miami. They're equal in a few. They're not better in any. So NDE is essentially, and I went over this last episode, but I'll go over it again, is essentially the defensive output or expected output on a neutral field against the mean or average college football team. So you take all that and you say, and it's great for bowl games. This is where this really makes you a lot of money, is on bowl games, because you're on neutral places. But that's the only place where Florida State is even in the same realm, is defense. And Miami's defense sucks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the numbers here so we can get into it a little bit. So the numbers that jump off really, so it's 0.17, which means nothing to you. Let me pull up on another screen here. Hold on one second. To give you perspective, okay, name me the first college football team that you're like, they got a good defense. Name me whatever the first team that has a good defense that comes to mind.
A good defense.
Yeah, just pick any random team.
Penn State. Their defense is pretty good, isn't it?
Okay, Penn State's pretty solid. Penn State is 0.5. Miami is 0.17. That is huge, okay? That's how bad Miami's defense is. Florida State's defense is also that, okay?
And I assume the max is a 1?
Yeah, but nobody's there. Like, for instance...
Right. That's the perfect defense, right?
Yeah, like, so just quick glance. The number 1 ranked... Let me see if I can pull this up here real quick. The number 1 ranked defense, and again, this is advanced metrics here, so this is adjusted opponent efficiency, is Texas.
Okay.
And they are at 0.76, 70. Let's just call it 76%, to make it probably easier for people to follow. Notre Dame's 2, Tennessee's 3, Georgia's 4, Ohio State's 5. They're all 65% and higher. We come all the way down to 17, which is Florida State at 45 and Miami at 46. That they're the same defense as Northern Illinois, if you want to put that in perspective. So if you kind of, right, let's see some other teams on here that people might know. Pittsburgh played last night very well. Their defense looked phenomenal, so this is probably bad, but they're right there at the same level. On the other side, Arizona State and UNLV. So think of both these defenses in the world of a UNLV, Arizona State, Northern Illinois, Pittsburgh defense, which is not great, okay? Both those defenses fall there. Offensively, all right, since I have it on the screen, let's pull it up. The number one offense in the whole country on advanced data, and this is opponent just, is Ohio State, Oregon, LSU, Indiana, Miami. Miami is the 5th best offense on adjusted efficiency. 63%. Ohio State's number 1 at 81%. Now, please keep in mind, all this is based upon previous games and previous opponents. Ohio State in the beginning of the year played a lot of cupcakes, so some of their numbers can be inflated, right?
Right.
So keep that in mind. Oregon, same thing. LSU is legit. Indiana was legit. Their numbers are going to change drastically with the quarterback out. Now I lost your screen. Where'd you go? Hold on. There you go. Okay. So I don't want to spend too much more time on this game, but over. Clear? I don't trust Miami to cover 21.5.
Yeah.
I definitely don't trust Florida State. If you have to take Miami, probably if you really just don't bet it. But if you really wanted to be on Miami, do like a 2-leg same game parlay. Okay. And this is what I would do. And let me pull it up because Hard Rock, a lot of people on Hard Rock, I got Hard Rock. Let me pull up Hard Rock right here and I'll just see what these odds are. And we can probably get this close to like an even money play. Now, for official plays, again, I'm on the over. I'll say it 100 times. I'm on the over. Okay. But for you, if you want to be on Miami, where the hell's the game? Let me find it on. This is what I would do. I can't find the fucking game. What the fuck? What time are they playing?
I think 7:00
Eastern.
Yes.
All right. Let me. Problem is, I'm used to looking on everything West Coast time, and now I'm on the East Coast right now. It's messing with me. There it is. 7:00. Okay. So, all right. And I'll turn my phone around here in a second so you can see. But so same game parlay. Let's go total points. We'll drop total points down. Let's give myself a touchdown to fuck with. Let's go 55.5. Or let's do this. The way it works is 55, not that hook is only a nickel difference. So we'll go there. Spread the fuck Hard Rock. They won't give me an alt spread. Damn. Okay. Let me do this. I know y'all don't have DraftKings, but let me do DraftKings here real quick just so you can show. For whatever reason, Saturday you will be able to do that. Sometimes days in advance, they don't let you do that. DraftKings will. Let me do this just so we can see what we have going on. Because I think I could put a play together here for you that Miami Hurricanes that you guys could use here. Let's see. Miami Hurricanes. No, not basketball.
So if you parlay the over and Miami.
Yeah, you bring it down. By the way, the line's 21, so the hook better on DraftKings. This is, again, why you shop lines, folks. Let's do game lines. I think 55. We go over, and let's see what their numbers are here. So this is something people should look into. So the number is 54.5 on DraftKings, okay? It's minus 108, minus 112, whatever. They get a little funky. It's a minus 110 play, right? If you jump just a half a point to 54, they're going to juice you up 12 cents on the dollar. So for every dollar you bet, they're going to juice you another 12 cents on that. Where if you go the half point the other way, they still fuck you because they're only giving you 2 cents better on the dollar. But if you make the jump a whole point to 55.5, they'll put you in the plus money range. So now we're looking at getting 12 to 13 cents on the dollar. It's better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 55.5. That's essentially 7 points less than what I think the line is. That gives us some wiggle room, okay? Miami. Let me pull up the alt spreads here for them. Oh, okay, let's go. Let's say we can keep it with, I don't even trust them to win by 2. Let's do even more than that. Let's say a little bit. I can go here. Let's say 11.5 points. Oh, we could have a lot of fun with this. I don't even think they can cover it, but let's go 11.5. And I'm going to change this around here. Oh, and that's the other thing. There's a bet on here you can do. Oh, because I'm in Ohio. Oh my God, I can do fucking college props now. In Arizona, you can't bet on college props. And I'm thinking, oh, I can do team totals. Miami team total might be a bet here.
Oh.
So you remember when I told you I thought in the book Odds Makers Minds, they thought 38 was what Miami was going to score? You want to know how fucking spot on it? DraftKings has Miami's team total 37.5 at minus 125. 38.5 at plus 105. They're telling you they think Miami's going to score 38 points. It's what we already came up with. They think this game, and watch, without, I'm going to jump Florida State. I guarantee 17 points is where they're at. Watch this. 16.5 is minus 105. 17.5 is plus 125. I told you. They think this game's going to be 17. It's not going to be that. All right. So essentially here, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, where's my screen here?
There you go.
The 55.5 and 11. And you could even bring this total down more. You can't really go much more on Miami, but that's what I would do. I think that shows up pretty well. But the I'm not doing that personally, but if you wanted to be on Miami, frankly, this could be like a 10, like mid 20s to mid 30s would get us there too. Again, I'm just going over. I'm not trying to get too cute here. I mean, that play you can get cute. I don't have a problem. I don't see. There's no world I see Florida State going down there and laying an egg.
Yeah, if they can't get up for this,
if they can't get up for this game, then fuck them. By the way, we just spent 20 minutes on this game. Let's move on.
Yeah, here we go.
Over. The next game, hopefully, yep. Okay, never mind. I was going to go to the BYU game. That's fine. Let's do this.
Oh, I got that saved for last.
Okay,
I figure we'll go more in depth on that one too.
So that's the game that we spent probably 2 hours in our community. And so there's like, I don't know, in the actual chat part of it, not everybody likes the chat because it's a lot of notifications, but in the chat part, I think we have somewhere around 75 to 85 people in there. And roughly we have, I don't know, like 115, 120 of actual people that are in the community. But again, some of the older guys don't like all the message notifications and shit. It's cumbersome for them. Anyways, whatever. So there's probably about 15 of us that were dissecting that game, and I could not get behind how the fuck Central Florida. But anyways, we'll save that to the end. I got a lot. I'll probably spend way too much time on that. Notre Dame Navy is a very intriguing game. I like.
Yeah, the Navy's the hot team. Everyone seems to want them in Army to get undefeated through the season, which
it's the March Madness underdog Cinderella bullshit thing. It's like,
exactly.
Story. Okay. Here's the truth. Navy's the best academy school. And I'll tell you why. And if you don't watch or you don't know, is they're now a passing team, not a full passing team, but they're for a team that normally doesn't ever put the ball in the air, they put the ball in the air. Now let's pull this up real quick. Let's go to Navy. I'm gonna pull their quarterbacks numbers just so you know what I'm talking about
here. He's got 10 TDs to 1 pick.
Oh, okay, so you already got it pulled up. All right, so I
mean, 888 yards passing.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
That's probably more than a season usually for a Navy quarterback.
So check this. He's a junior out of Hilliard, Ohio. His last year, I'm going to see what his year's career stats were. Okay. Last year, now he might not have been the starter, probably not. But he's attempted 12 passes all year last year. That's crazy. Let me see if I can do something real quick here. Let's go to scores. I don't know if I can pull last year's scores at all. Yeah. Anyways, it's not that big of a deal, but the fact for a service academy guy to in 7 games, or right, there's 7 games in.
6 games, 6-0.
6 games. He's attempted almost 80. Where's it at? 72 attempts. So yeah, he's throwing the ball 12 to 15 times a game, which that's not a lot for most teams. That's a ton for these service academies. And he's had over 100 yards passing. Again, something that doesn't happen a lot in the since September 7th is what I'm looking at. 112 has been his worth. He even put up 225, which is unheard of for a quarterback out of an academy school against UAB. Notre Dame's vulnerable, right? I mean, they already showed us they can lose to not a good school. Like North Illinois, the Salukis, aren't even the best MAC school. Like they're not like. Let's see, who are they playing? Let me pull them up real quick here. I don't even think I have them winning this week. Hold on, they're playing. I know they're on here somewhere. Hold on one second. Northern Illinois playing Ball Sack State. They'll beat Ball Sack State. Ball State's terrible. But Yeah. Okay. I'll give you an example, right? You know how we were talking about how bad Miami's defense and Florida State's defense was 17?
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned that Northern Illinois, they're that bad too. And Notre Dame lost to them. Navy, let's pull up Navy's defense real quick. Let's go jump on that other screen real quick. I'm on Navy, by the way. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm on Navy with the points here. Uh, Defensively speaking, Navy is going to come in at fuck's Notre Dame. Notre Dame is no, two. They're technically the second best defense out there. Where the fuck's Navy at though? Oh, they're down here. Navy's 52. So Navy's defense on here is actually, and again, this is adjusted too, but is actually worse than Northern Illinois.
I wonder. I mean, Navy had that one game against Memphis.
But here's
They
the thing:
gave up.
Navy's offense is 19th.
Ooh, yeah.
19th. So they're to give you the equivalent of Navy's offense. Think Iowa State, Georgia Tech, Washington. Not powerhouses by any stretch of the imagination, but sufficient to give you perspective. Notre Dame's 24.24. Navy's adjusted offense is actually better than Notre Dame's.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. Notre Dame's offense just doesn't look.
No,
And look, their schedule, their opponents haven't been world beaters either.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so let's pull up Navy here. Let's go and dive in a little bit deeper in the numbers here with Navy.
Yeah, and the spread on this one, I think it opened at 14, right? For Notre
Yeah,
Dame.
it might have moved a little bit. Let me see what it's at right now.
13.5.
Yeah, because
so just a half point.
I think I got 13.5 a couple of days ago, like an even money or something. Let me look what I have. I know I have a couple of bets here. Let me pull up my thing real quick here. I want to say I got 2 bets. I think I even threw a money line on. Yeah, so I got even money. This was 2 days ago. Even money on plus 13 for Navy. I think they keep it within 10, maybe less. And I threw a half a unit, small bet. Don't get crazy. Navy money line plus 120 or plus 425. So here, I'll show you on the screen if you can see this, but
Here,
there you go. And then you can see the over, and then we're going to get to the Texas A&M, and we're on Texas A&M too. Those are the bets that for this show that I'm already on. So over under pretty spot on. I think there's no real advantage or edge here. You probably can't read those letters down there, but I said Notre Dame. Oh, I can't read it. Can you blow that screen up a little bit?
I think so.
I think Notre Dame.
Notre Dame only do I think Navy covers. I think they're live dogs.
Yeah, again, I'm not good with the English language, but the
it'll if they're watching this on their TV, they'll see this in full. They'll be able to read it.
So here's the deal. Notre Dame probably wins this game. Probably. I don't trust them. I would never put any money on Notre Dame here. Navy wins this game. I'm going to show you another bet here. Navy wins this game. I'm pretty confident I'm winning this bet. I usually don't show how much I bet on shit, but I guess I'll disclose here for a second. And it's not a ton of money.
Well, while you pull it up, I'll add. See, you've got Notre Dame plus 1, and again, this is to reference that scale, the pendulum you were talking about.
Yeah. So,
this is a 2-touchdown line, and you have Notre Dame just barely,
just slightly. Like if all things were in a bubble, Notre Dame would win a close game here. But they're on the road. I don't know how ruckus his Navy's crowd's going to be, but I think if they can't have a fucking sold out packed house for this big of a game.
Yeah, outside of their game against Army, this has to be their big game.
We have, and it's not a ton of money. But we got, where can I see this? But we got Navy. It's only a $10 bet, but Navy plus, win $300 if they make the playoffs. They win this game, I think they're in. And also, you can see on there too.
This is definitely their hardest game to get there. Yeah,
for fucking 10-1 on my dude winning the Heisman too. So, since we're here too, and then Miami. Where's Miami? Miami winning the. That's not going to happen though. But yeah,
not with that defense.
no chance. No chance. But yeah, I don't. So here's the deal with futures bets. I don't want to sink a ton of money and have a ton of money wrapped up in, I'm not putting hundreds of dollars on futures bet to wait 6 months to get paid on something. I will use a lot of times, and I think you saw in the one, like a $20 free bet. I use a lot of free bets. And so what I'll do in hockey and baseball, because they're longer seasons, is throughout the season, every time you get hit with like a $20 or $50, $10, whatever it is, free bet, I then look for futures. And so usually most of all my future bets are made with free bets. So I'm risking none of my own money. But yeah, we have a lot of that's the other thing we do every Monday and Tuesdays. We go through and find value spots on teams we think they're going to make the college football playoff because there's so many teams in at large. Sorry to go off on another tangent. My prediction is 3 Big Ten teams and 4 SEC teams. SEC teams make it. I think either Ohio State, Indiana, or Penn State misses. I think Oregon's in for sure. So out of Oregon's in, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana, only 2 of those 3 will make it, in my opinion. Probably Ohio State, but I think they have some. There might be another hiccup. Not this week. They should handle Nebraska, but there might be a hiccup on that schedule. And I'm not even going to say Michigan, but Michigan could beat them. Michigan's defense is legit. It's the only thing they got going for them. All right, so here we're on Navy. We know that with the pendulum, you're right. This is really tells you you shouldn't be betting this game. But I am because 14 points is ridiculous and this too close of a game, in my opinion. I would have this game as Notre Dame minus 4.5, maybe minus 5.5 if I was making the number here. So we're Heidi Ho neighbor. Let's go on to the next one.
All right. Speaking of
Another,
SEC
this is a
teams.
prime time under the lights, College Station. I hate Brian Kelly. If Brian Kelly can go in and win this game, I will come on I'll come on next week and give a formal apology that because I think he's a shit coach. This stadium, I know will be rocking. This stadium, go do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and go type in like the 12th man, Texas A&M ruckus. So there's a few college stadiums and traditions and things like that that are so fucking cool, and I love it. And I love college football. Texas A&M 12th man is one of those. The other one I really love that I don't think gets enough love is Virginia Tech's Enter Sandman when they come onto the field. Is if you've never seen that, go Google that. Especially like it. There's a real famous one I think when they were playing maybe Virginia or one of the rivals, and the place was crazy. It was on ESPN. Go from a couple years ago. Go find the footage of that. That place was killing. I mean, just killing
Yeah,
it.
gives
So
you chills. Yeah.
this is going to be a ruckus crowd. It's going to be loud. The
And these are
only
two hot teams coming in. I mean,
well, here's the thing. Everybody's sleeping on Texas A&M. Texas A&M can win the SEC. They have a path to win the SEC or at least make the championship game, right? The winner of this game makes the playoffs. Period.
yeah.
Period. This is a de facto playing game for the playoffs. Regardless, I mean, unless they just lose every other, which is not going to happen, but unless they lose out the rest of the season, the winner of this game is in the playoffs, regardless if they win the conference or not. All right, FEI. It stands for the guy's name, but essentially it's adjusted efficiency on a neutral field. Here, I'll even give you the exact definition here since I have it. So, okay, FEI. Let me do the offensive here. What it is your offensive ratings, your defensive ratings, and your special teams ratings. Okay, they're adjusted on a possession efficiency by the data representing the scoring average per non-garbage possessions on a team or unit that would expect to have on a neutral field against an average opponent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in layman's terms, basically it's compiling all the offensive, defensive, and special teams data, getting rid of all the garbage time possessions, right? Some of the end of the game bullshit.
Yeah, which happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like in blowouts and things like that. And then saying, take out the home field advantage and everything like that, put them on a neutral field against the mean or average college team, and how would they perform? With all that being said, the numbers would say that LSU would do better in that spot. That's all that FEI is saying. But we're not on a neutral field.
No, far from it.
We're in College Station. To give you perspective, LSU is 7th in the country as far as FEI. They come in now. When we talked before, we said that one would be this. Actually, goes above this. Ohio State's number one at 1.52, where LSU is 0.96. Your and this is fun information. It's a little too early. By about week 12, so about another month, the winner of the national championship game will be the top four. Will be one of the top four teams in FEI by week 12. Guarantee it. It's been that way every year for the last 13 years. That
Wow.
the national championship winner by week 12 will be in the top four of FEI. I even went back, so I can go back as far to 2007. I didn't do that because I don't care. I went back to 2012, and every year from last year when Michigan won to 2012, by week 12, the national champion was in the top four in FEI.
Wow.
Currently, and again, this will change. This will change, but currently, the top four teams in FEI is Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas. I don't think I'm shocking anybody by telling them that one of those four teams would win. I don't think that's a big surprise.
No.
Here's the drop, though. Ohio State should have beat Oregon. By the way, terrible coaching, but statistically, they're actually the better team than Oregon. The big drop off here, though, is going to be from Texas to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 5th, Alabama 6th. Texas is 1.25. Ole Miss is 1. That's a huge drop. Where Georgia, Texas are both the same. Oregon's slightly favored or slightly better by like a tenth, and Ohio State's 15th or 15 tenths or whatever the fuck better than Oregon.
Hmm.
What the fuck is this shit? No. Betfred's leaving the state of Arizona. Sorry, I just got an email about that. Okay. Yeah, big drop off. So to give you an idea, like where the big drop offs are on this. So the big drop off is from Texas to Ole Miss 4-5. The next big drop off is from Tennessee at 11 to Miami at 12. And then from Miami at 12 all the way down to about South Carolina at 21, it's pretty bunched. So Miami, Indiana, Iowa State, Kansas State, Boise State, USC, Texas A&M, BYU, SMU, and South Carolina are all bunched together as pretty close to the same type of teams as far as what you would expect.
It's early, or it's still not week 12, but it's far enough that you can kind of have clusters, right? Of like
Yes,
where these teams are. Obviously, any team can suffer
of
a
course.
star player
So
injury that can tank them, but
if I'm going to tier this and say like these are your top tier, second tier, your top tier team is going to be Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas. Your second tier teams are going to be Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, Penn State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Tennessee. Your third tier is going to be Miami, Indiana, Iowa State, Kansas State, Boise State, USC, Texas A&M, BYU, SMU, South Carolina. You then go to your next tier, which is going to be Wisconsin, Louisville, Florida, Michigan, Iowa, Army, Washington, Oklahoma, Virginia Tech. Then the next drop is to get to Missouri. I'll stop after this one. Missouri, Cincinnati, Kentucky, Colorado, Washington State, Navy, Maryland, UCF, James Madison, Minnesota, Nebraska, UNLV, Tulane, Baylor, and Arizona State. That is your top 45. And frankly, if you're not in the top 45 at this point, I don't think you make the playoffs or even have a chance. So
no.
teams that you think might have a chance that I'm telling you right now will not make the playoffs. Illinois, Pittsburgh, that might become a shock. Pittsburgh will find a way. Now, maybe they can still win and they'll make it in. But Pittsburgh, if they do make the playoffs, will be eliminated in the first week. Arkansas, Memphis, Oklahoma State, Utah, Virginia, Oregon State, Kansas, Vanderbilt. That whole group of teams should not be in the playoff, regardless. And then everything below them are teams I haven't mentioned are even worse. So the only teams on the outside that I think could still make it would be this tier, which is the Missouri, Cincinnati, Kentucky, Colorado, Washington State, Navy, Maryland, UCF, James Madison, Minnesota, Nebraska, UNLV, Tulane, Baylor, and Arizona State. Now, record-wise, they might not get there, but the teams that are in here, Missouri, Washington State, Navy, and UNLV would be the only teams that I think could win out and possibly still get in.
Yeah, well, and especially when they're not in the non-power conference teams,
Yeah,
they probably
like
have a little
if,
more
like for
wiggle
instance,
room.
if Missouri wins out, they're in, right? They're in the SEC. Well, one loss SEC team is in for sure. Obviously, if Navy wins out, they're in. Washington State wins out, they're in. UNLV wins out, I think they might get in because that means they beat Boise twice. Or no, they would. Did they already play them? They might have already played and lost, but they would have to beat them again in the championship game, which would get them in. So realistically, the teams that will probably get in as like the last at-large teams are going to be, and some of this will have to do with conference, but Boise State, USC, Texas A&M, BYU, SMU, South Carolina. Now South Carolina's record shit, and so is USC. But play-wise, SMU, Texas A&M, Boise State should all make the playoffs. Should. And then depending on wins and losses here, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Penn State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Miami, Indiana, Iowa State should all be there, assuming they handle their business. Obviously, it's not going to happen. There's going to be losses and things there, but as it stands right now, that's where we're at. All right. Texas A&M, smaller bet. I think it's only one unit, but we want them at home. The pick'em game, they just got to win. At least that's what it was. Lean under if so, and I think LSU's offense struggles here. That's why. They're going to tell you the book, and we can pull it up here too. This would be fun if you want. Is I'm going to guess before we pull it up on DraftKings that the team totals here, what they're saying the team total should be, is this game should be somewhere along the lines of like a 27-28 winning score to about 24-25 losing score. Now let's pull up DraftKings and see what the team totals are, because my guess is they're going to be around that number.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I would guess somewhere around 27.5 for both teams, maybe.
All right, let me pull it up here. It's a 7 o'clock game, right? I think. All right, that's Miami.
Yeah, the over 54.5.
Here it is. Okay, so yeah, and I think right now the line on DraftKings actually has Texas A&M -1, -115 money line, so it's moved a little bit here. But let's go to team totals, maybe. Team totals. Here we go. Okay, so the team totals on LSU, 27.5 points is -110. Okay, Texas A&M, 27.5 points is -115. They think this game is going to be, the winner is going to be right around the 28-point mark, and the loser will obviously be a few points less than that. I would not be surprised if the winner is actually closer to like 24, 25 points, and the loser is closer to 21 points. I think this game maybe just gets to 50 points. So we're talking like 24, 26, 20, like something in that range. Something like it's going to be, I will be shocked. And here's another bet I just thought about this. They do bands on here. Let me see if I can do game props. There might be a bet here, and we might just fire here while we're on the show. I would love that. Winning margin, but by both teams. I can do a band. I can do a band for an individual team. You know what a band is, right?
No.
Okay, so let me explain that. So I might have to switch books because I'm not seeing it here on DraftKings, so maybe FanDuel or something. But a band is saying that a team is going to win between this set of points. So, for instance, if I did individual teams, I want to do just that, the winner, regardless of who it is going to be. So, for instance, if you think that LSU is going to win between 1 and 6 points, it's plus 450. If you think Texas A&M is going to win between 1 and 6 points, it's plus 425. Right? And it goes all the different things, blah, 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 blah. Let me jump over to, actually, let me do Hard Rock. I think Hard Rock does this. And if you're people in Florida, this would work out best. So let's jump to Hard Rock. Also, I will say something that I like about Hard Rock is, and I don't know, maybe because I'm more frequent of a bettor or something like that, or status, but almost every day I get boost, 10 to 30% boost for straight bets. And you got to take advantage of it. You really do. All right, let's go game special.
Yeah, I don't bet much, and I do get those a lot too. So
okay. Yeah. All right, so this game go to overtime to win, point spread. Game specials is not going to be on here. So, all right, let's try it. Actually, you know what? MGM, I think, does it a lot. Let me go. And MGM, I think, is in most states too. Let's go here. And again, maybe you can't do this in Ohio. Maybe I don't know. In Arizona, you can definitely make this bet. or they have these lines. Let's see here. Winning margin here. Oh, that's by it's by individual team. Trying to play in Ohio. Yeah. All right. Game props. God damn. All right. So here's what you could do, and I could probably spend more time, but I don't want to spend too much time right now. Is there is a bet, and you can shop it around where you can bet on a team to win, like we said, 1 to 6 points or whatever it is. Ideally, what I would love to do if I can find this is get to where I can find a band where either team wins, but within 10 points. Because I think this game's within 10 points no matter what, whoever wins, and we probably can even find plus money on that. If not, watch, and MGM's not good odds, so let's go to DraftKings real quick. This is what I would do, and I'll put it on the screen so you can see. All right. So if I have 4 bets, there we go. Damn, that's not, it's like all bright as shit.
It's fine earlier.
There
There we
okay.
go.
Is that
Whoop.
kind of okay? You can. God damn. Why are you so stupid? What the hell? Anyways, okay. Yeah. All right. So I'll just read it to you. LSU. This is on DraftKings. LSU to win by 1 to 6. Texas A&M to win between 1 to 6. LSU to win between 7 and 12. Texas A&M to win between 7 and 12. So essentially, what we're betting is either team to win between 1 and 12 points. It's plus 450 for LSU to win by 1 to 6. So I'm just going to use $1 just to keep things really easy. Just to
Yeah.
show you, right? Okay. So if I bet $1 on each one of these, that's $4. And again, you can adjust or whatever. Okay. Now let's see if this shows up here. Oh, there kind of can I maybe if I turn the phone
I was there for a second.
on the pitch. Oh, there we go. Kind of.
So if it's
Anyways, so
in
I'm
essence, if
risking.
any of those hit, you're going to make money, right?
Yeah. So again, I'll just use dollars to keep math real simple here. So I'm risking $4 in total, right? So $40, $400, whatever you want to do. And each payback is right. So the payout would be $5.50. So I'm getting returned $1.50 profit. $5.25, which would be $1.25, $7 or $7. So if this game is within 12 points, either way, I'm gonna make money. And I will fire this. I'll probably put, I don't know, 25 or so bucks. I'll probably do 100. And so yeah, let's see what that looks like. Hold on. So
Yeah, if you do 25 each, yeah.
25 each. I'll just tell you what the payouts are here so we can do this. So 25 on 4 bets is $100. That's real simple. Okay. So risking, and I'll show you here on the screen if they possibly could work there maybe.
If we can see it.
Can you see there we go. Okay, there you go.
There we go.
So 25 each, and you kind of see that, right? So $131.25 return would be the least amount. That's a profit of 30 some dollars, right?
Yeah, yeah. So just the game finishing within 12 points,
And
you're guaranteed money.
correct. So the only way I lose is if this is a 2 touchdown game essentially. And if they win between the touchdown and the 12 points, then we're getting 175 return. That's a $75 profit. Yeah, right. Yeah, done. So there we go. I also have an official bet on the just Texas A&M to win at all. So, all right.
Nice. Well, we saw the bet placed here.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean that's kind of how I work. Is we find the little shits. Too many people are too square, and they're just oh Texas and whatever. But there's a bet where this game I don't see this game either team winning by 2 touchdowns. I think that's a very conservative, safe bet. But yeah, that's what I would do. We'll see how it works out. But I feel very good about that one. I will fire on that with not
Yeah,
much.
I like it. I'm gonna start betting bands, I think.
Yeah, well, again, only in certain. I mean, it's not. Don't do it every game. Just in very
Right.
specific spots. All right, Penn State, Wisconsin, same thing. It's a very prime time big game. I think 7:30 Eastern, something like that. All right. Penn State plus 4, 46.5. Again, over underlines 2 close to be touching this one. I think Penn State wins by a score. It's field goal. Um, Honestly, the 6.5, it's not a terrible number. I don't know if this has moved at all, but 5.5 or 4.5 is where I would rather be. Like if this line was Penn State 4.5, I think I'd be more up in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like it's still 6.5
Okay.
on what I'm looking at.
So obviously, Wisconsin is a tougher place to play, but I don't think it's going to be much deal for Penn State. They play, I think they play every year. Wisconsin's having a down year. I think we talked about this last show where Luke Fickell is trying to revamp that whole offensive scheme, and there's a little bit of growing pains. Franklin has a reputation of shit in the bed late in the season, but that's usually because he's getting beat down by Michigan, Ohio State.
Mhm.
Um, Penn State wins this game. I don't see why they should lose this game. How much is going to be worth it? I'm not on this game at all. The real key is Penn State's rushing. Okay. Um, Here, let me pull it up. I think we went over this last time too, as far as their advanced rushing data and their expected yards and things like that. Let's go Penn State here. So Penn State on just the rushing, I'm gonna give you a comparison between Wisconsin and Penn State rushing. That's the thing is Wisconsin traditionally, right? Big time running backs, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how many NFL running backs come out of Wisconsin? A ton, and some really good ones. That's not Wisconsin anymore. That's not who they are. All right, rushing for Penn State. Okay, their power success rate 78, stuff rate. This is offensive 13, yards per rush 3.5, second level yards per rush 1.3, and open field yards per rush is 1. Those are all pretty good. The stuff rate and 3.5 is all real solid. Defensively, power 59, stuff 29, yards per rush is only 2. Second level rush yards is zero point 0.9 and open field is 1.2. All right, let's jump over to Wisconsin real quick. All right, Wisconsin on the rushing is going to be 76 power, which is pretty close to this offensive. 13 stuff, which is exactly the same. 3.3, so a little bit less. Only 1, which is a little bit less, and 1 on the open field, so that's the same. The defensive, though, their defense is 71, so their defense is not as good rushing. 16 on stuff, 3.2 on 1.1 on second, and 1. So where I think this game is won and lost is between the tackles and in the trenches. I think if Penn State gets out to a touchdown or so lead, they're going to slow this game down, eat a lot of clock, and then Wisconsin's defense will be tired. I think this is going to be a close game up until halftime. In the second half, Penn State pulls away. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I love those
don't be
rushing numbers.
surprised if this is a tie game or a one-score game at halftime, and then Penn State comes out in the second half and just controls the fucking ball.
Just wears them out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I see happening.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, I'm not on this game, but there could be a possibility to live bet if Wisconsin gets out to an early lead. There might be a way to swing back around and take Penn State. So if you're into live betting, that might be an opportunity. If you're at a meetup, so we're doing a meetup. We do a meetup events. We have a meetup event this Saturday, which is why I'm out in the hotel right now. And so we will be live betting this game probably at the meetup event. For that exact thing, we would be looking for Wisconsin to jump out and then go the other way on it. So, but if not, if Penn State jumps out to an early lead, then we're fans and we just watch. So, all right, let's move on to the next one.
All right, we got Cincinnati and Colorado.
Late night delight. This is one of the last games of the day.
Yeah, this is maybe a make your money back.
This is well, I think the actual is Nevada, Hawaii is I think the absolute
Yeah, Hawaii's the last one.
But this is gonna be a prime time game. I love night games in I think it was Boulder. Where they at Boulder there? They fucking I'll give Coach Sanders credit there because he's definitely got the engagement of the constituents and the students there at Colorado, regardless of their record. Colorado +4. Okay. Colorado wins this game. I think they're overrated. I think the hype for fucking Travis Hunter is smoke and mirrors. The guy hasn't been on the field long enough. there's a big hype train in Colorado that's full
Yeah.
of hot air, in my opinion. There's a lot of talk and not a lot of action, in my opinion. Over underline not really touching. Colorado wins. Cincinnati is tougher than their record would indicate. FEI, these teams are pretty much spot on. And the E, Colorado is going to get the edge, especially being at home. Rushing, this is why Cincinnati loses this game. Their rushing numbers are defensive rushing numbers are terrible, and Colorado will just let me pull it up here real quick. Colorado will win this game because they will control the ball and run it down Cincinnati's throat, which will then open up the play action passes for Sanders. All right, rushing defense. 72 on power, 15 on stuff. That's pretty bad. 3.5 yards per rush, 1.3 on second, 1.3 on open field. And then even if you go down to the explosive plays, where is
That
Cincinnati? This is
on
Cincinnati.
that first level, a number of 3, and they were a 3.5. A number of 3 is terrible, isn't it?
Well, yeah, think about it. You're getting 3.5 yards per carry. That's 3 rushes. You run the ball 3 times, you get a first down every time.
Yeah.
That's essentially if what I'm saying is if you run the ball in Cincinnati every down, you can probably beat them because they're going to give you a first down more times than not if you run the ball 3 times. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the explosive plays. This is where I think they're going to lose because Colorado passing explosive plays is pretty good. 1.77 explosive passive plays for Cincinnati on defense. That essentially means they almost give up 2 explosive passing plays per possession. An explosive passing play is 20 yards or more. So almost, let's say 1.5. So every 3 possessions, they're going to have 4 explosive passing plays. Is a safe way to do that.
Oof.
Colorado, let's jump over to their explosive plays on passing offense here. 1.48, so about 1.5. Now they also give up explosive plays on defense too, but Cincinnati's passing is nothing to get excited about. Rushing for Colorado, they are like the absolute middle of the road. They are like the mean. They are like this is like the average college football team. So this would be a good kind of perspective. Offensively, 79 on power, 20 on rush, 2.7 rush, zero point 0.9 second level, zero point 0.8 open field. Again, that's about the average in college football. Defensively, 78, 18 on stuff, 2.9 on rushing, 1.1 on second level, and 1.5. The open field and second level is maybe a touch high for the average, but those other numbers, like 2.9 defensive allowed rushing yards, is about college football norm average. So when we were talking about what was it, Penn State or whoever like that was 3.5.
Yeah.
You're right, 3.5 is quite good. Let's see here. This game doesn't get me too excited. I don't have any bets on this game. I would do a we're on bands. I would maybe do a band here if I had to, but I would only do a band on Colorado. Let me see what it even looks like. Oh, you're gonna make me bet more shit today being on the show. All right, let's see. Colorado, Cincinnati game props.
We'll see if we win you money or lose your money by doing this show.
So you could do this if you wanted to. You could do Colorado win by 1-6, 7-12, and 13-18. So basically, if they win between 1 and 18 points, you'll make money. So plus 350, plus 450, plus 600. Even at winning by 3 points, you're going to get a half a unit profit. Makes sense? Three
Right.
and a half. You're putting in 3, right? Good. I don't see Colorado running away where they're winning by 20 some points. So that might I'll dig into it more when I'm off camera, but that might be a bet where we go Colorado. Colorado wins the game. I'm not worried about Cincinnati winning this game. It's by how much, and so maybe a band is the way to play. I'm a plus money player. So anytime I can get to where I'm making a lot of plus money plays, you're not going to see me, probably never on this show, where I tell you to go bet some minus 150 thing. Never. Stupid. Why?
Yeah,
You got
no,
to go. You got to go
good strategy.
65% on those, which you can do. It's hard. You can do. I'd much rather go 55% on even money plays. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
plus money plays. Yeah.
cut down those
I
margins.
was having a talk with a guy last night that, yeah, look, it's much easier to go 50% on plus money plays, even money plays, than it is to try to go 65% on minus 150. Like, when
Yeah,
I'm right, I'm fucking right, and when I'm wrong, I'm way wrong. So let's not give the book any extra vig or juice that they don't need. Like, I will reverse line. Like, for instance, if let's say this line was like minus 5.5, okay, and I really like Colorado by a touchdown, I would reverse line it up to 6.5 and get it at plus even money or plus 110. Or you see what I'm saying? Because if
yeah,
they're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
win by 6, they're going. I mean, there are times, and that's kind of a weird number. I like it better around the 12. Because look, and I think I said this in the last show with one team and it ended up working out, Clemson, I think, which is they're going to win by 12, they're going to win by 13. If they're going to win by 11, they're going to win by 12. The extra point there does not make a fucking difference, but don't lay the juice. So that'd be my advice, I guess, if you want to take a little thing
Yeah,
is find.
and don't get too greedy like I did. I gave him like 4 points and I lost by
Oh,
by
yeah.
1.
I mean, this is kind of the art form of this and a little bit of just being in the trenches and knowing like kind of what's realistic and stuff. I'll give you an example. While I don't recommend necessarily people betting parlays often, I do a lot for NFL props. It's been pretty successful for me. But what I do, and I'll give you an example of one where I lost, but the thought process I think was right. So I think it was the Monday night football game. Was that the Ravens played on Monday night? Is that correct? I think so.
They played him yeah, against the Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I took Derrick Henry for 80 yards rushing and a touchdown, and I took J.K. Dobbins for 80 yards and a touchdown as a parlay, and it paid like 15 to 1 or something crazy. Here's the deal: it didn't hit. Dobbins never got the yards, but I went back through all the numbers, and every time both of those running backs hit the 80-yard mark, they've always had a touchdown. So it didn't work out, but that's what I like to do. Is I like to put things that like look. A running back like Derrick Henry to get 80 yards and a rushing touchdown isn't like that far fetched of a thing, or even
No.
Dobbins to do it. So I have two, and I also will do this with parlays when you're building out player parlays. I know we're going off on a totally different tangent here for a second, but I think this is important for people that bet these to know this. Bet things that um, coincide with each other. So, for instance, if I'm going to take a wide receiver to get, let's just say, 100 yards, take the quarterback to get 200 passing yards. If he's going to throw for 100 yards to one guy, you think he's going to get another 100 yards somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? Or
Yeah, yeah.
if you think Justin Jefferson last night was going to have 100 yards and a touchdown, well, then bet the quarterback to throw for 200 yards and a touchdown on top of it, right? Because if that's going to hit that, does that make sense? And then
Yeah.
you're just adding up. Let me see if I can pull one here for you. And I don't bet crazy on parlays, and a lot of these books they have me fucking limited too on their promos.
But no, yeah, it does make perfect sense. It's
All
the
right, so here's an example, and this is on ESPN. Let's go last 7 days here. And we'll go over the winning and losing ones here. So it was a plus 1,000 on the Dobbins one I was just telling you about there, right? So we had Derrick Henry. He didn't get it; he only got 40 yards. But I'm telling you, if he got another 40 yards, he was going to get a touchdown. Look, they didn't score no fucking points in that game. That's why.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I
here's
hope that
an example.
continues
So
into Sunday.
here's one that was a winner. Here's one. Here's one that was a winner, right? So, oh, you're not gonna show. There you go. So, right, I got Baker Mayfield passing, and then his tight end getting yards. I got Jackson passing, and then his tight end getting yards, right? Because if the tight end's gonna get yards,
Right.
went up well, it's gonna work.
Yeah, it showed up for a second.
Here's
Kate
another one.
Ottman. Yeah.
Here's another one. Sorry, I got messages coming through. God, I hate this thing. Why is it not- kind of maybe turn. You can kind of see it that way. Maybe if I turn this way.
You can see they're all green.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a winning bet, but it was like the Sunday night game or something. It was Rodgers 200 yards, Garrett Wilson 50 yards, Rodgers with a passing touchdown, and Najee Harris with 60 yards rushing. So that's what I mean. Rodgers is going to get 200 yards and a touchdown. Wilson's going to get some love. See how that works? Here's another one. Oh, that's just a regular parlay. Okay, so here, this one. All right, this is a fucking bad beat. This game, you don't care, but I'm gonna show you anyways. You can't really see it, but there's an over 51.5 there on the Fresno State game. This was from October 18th. And Duke, Duke was only like 3 points, and we took them -5, which is good. Here's the problem. Let me pull up this game real quick. We only needed 2 touchdowns in the second half, and they didn't get there. I'm still salty about this one. Let me pull it up here. Fresno State on October 18th. Okay. The over-under line that we need to get to was 51.5. Okay. At halftime, it was 17-21. That's 38 points. 2 touchdowns is 52.
Yeah.
Fresno State scored a touchdown in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter to go up 24-21, and nobody scored another point the rest of the fucking game.
Jeez.
They went all of the fourth quarter and 10 minutes of the third quarter. So is that 25 minutes of playtime with
almost half the game.
fucking points. Anyways, that's why you can't win them all. All right,
you can never win them all.
This guy better edit the show down because this is super long, and I'm going to spend a ton of time probably here. I do not know why UCF is favored here. I don't. We went through every fucking thing. There's some reasons why. And if you can read my writing down there, I say, what the fuck am I missing? I don't see a world where UFC should be favored. I'm not touching this game because something's fucking weird here. And I can't put my finger on it, so I can't touch it because I don't want to look like an idiot. But BYU should win this game.
They're
missing here.
Yeah, so this was one that jumped out to me too. And I'm not in it, but you're talking about undefeated 11th ranked team in the country.
I don't even care about that.
But they're traveling to Orlando, and
so here, let me just pull up the conversation we had, and I'm just going to read off what I posted and what some of these other guys posted, just to kind of get you the thought process on where we might be. Okay, 1 second. Excuse me. All right, here we go.
Right now, I'm seeing the current line is UCF 2.5.
Yeah. So, all right.
Jeez.
So I basically posted in the chat here that I don't know what about UCF that has oddsmaker think that their favorite matchup. I asked one of our experts. I said, "Do you like UCF here? Because if you don't, I think I'm gonna become a Mormon for the weekend." I can't give a reason why USC's favored. Some of the responses was BYU's defense, worst unit on the field by far. It's really not, though. It's really not. We can pull up those numbers in a second. I had BYU as a 3.5 to 4.5 point favorite, and I wasn't even going to touch the game. The fact that UCF is a favorite has me like, I don't know. It's something weird feels off here. BYU is 224th against the rush. Again, that's opponent based. Don't get too caught up on those numbers. Here's just the what I call the fucking square numbers, which is the easy numbers that everybody in the world can go look at. And BYU looks terrible on the defense, but when we go to advanced metrics and we actually factor in opponents and adjusted, they're really not different. This is where UCF has the edge, and the only place that I feel why they should be favored. And one of the guys said here that the line is making it soak up a ton of public money on BYU for sure, which scares me, which is also like the obvious play if you're a casual fan is pick BYU here.
Right.
Something's
and the
weird.
line keeps shifting the other way.
Something's wrong. Something's way wrong here. I don't want to be on the wrong side of this game. And I think sometimes when the play is so obvious and they're like baiting you to take it, there's a fucking reason. So I do know this. They're changing quarterbacks at UCF. The kid they're changing to is a mobile quarterback. UCF is one of the best teams for rushing, defense, and offensive as far as combined between the two. Like there's better teams offensively and there's better teams defensively, but there's not teams that are better offense defensively combined. Does that make sense? Rushing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now factor in that they're going from a non-mobile quarterback to a mobile quarterback. That's going to hopefully, or what they're hoping is it's going to open up the run game more. I think that is why the odds makers thinks that, and it's a long travel for BYU to go to Orlando. Here's the other thing. They got an extra day of rest for BYU, and they're going from 45,000 feet to 82 feet of elevation. You Florida people don't fucking get this, but us on the West Coast understand that 4,000 feet in elevation change makes a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Noticeable. Walking upstairs. So imagine running the football, running around. You become winded more. But we're in Orlando. This is why all the Olympic athletes go up to Denver and all these other places to train, because of thin air. It helps your endurance. So I think that's a wash in my mind between the travel, but then they're going to pick up the edge because BYU should not get fatigued as quickly in this game because they're used to practicing and playing at 4,500 feet above elevation. They're going to be fucking at sea level. 82 feet is fucking sea level. Let's just call that we're at sea level. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's
it's if this was a September game, I think there'd be the case of the heat. But
so we went into that as well. It's going to be 84 degrees and overcast, maybe
yeah,
about 10 miles per hour wind. Shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an
no.
issue. Here is my deep dive in the numbers. So I really peeled back on this one, so I'll share it with you. Offensively, BYU's had 49 offensive possessions. They're averaging 4.1 points per opportunity. Their average starting field is they start from the 36.5-yard line, and that gives them an expected over the mean 1.58 points per possession above the average college football team. They're expected as more. Okay. Rush is kind of middle of the road, but their yards past line of scrimmage averages 3.2. That's pretty good. Remember we said 3.5 was fucking tremendous. 3.2 is pretty good. Pass plays is 1.76, or essentially BYU's pass. And this is where if BYU wins this game, it's in the fucking air. Like Colorado with Sanders, almost 2 explosive pass plays per possession, or what I would like to say, every 3 possessions, they should have 4. 4
Yeah.
20-yard pass plays. UFC's pass defense is not good. We'll get that in a second. Their run defenses. BYU has to air this ball out to win. Defensively, BYU 35 opportunities. Their opponents are getting roughly 3.7 points per opportunity. Their opponents start on the 26-yard line and have a minus 1.12 points per possession based upon the average. Mid-rushing defense stuff rate, they suck at stopping the run. BYU sucks at stopping the run on third and fourth. Like third and short, fourth and short, they're going to lose that battle all the time to UCF. That worries me a little bit. Explosive plays, they will allow 1 explosive rush per drive. It's almost 1.5 per drive. But here's the deal. They give up a lot of passing explosive plays. I'm not worried about explosive passing plays from UFC in this game at all. Rushing explosive plays would be the thing. If they have one, and by a rushing explosive play, it's 15 yards, passing, it's 20. So for them to average 1 15-yard rush per drive, that's fine. That doesn't always mean points.
Right.
Right? If you're on the 25-yard and get to your own 40, big fucking deal. You're still punting the ball. UCF, offensively, 49 opportunities as well, but they're only getting 3.4, where BYU is 4.1. 37 defensive opportunities versus the 35 for BYU. BYU is surrendering 3.7, where UCF is surrendering 4.1. They're going to start on their own 34, where BYU is expected to start on their own 36. BYU is expected to have 1.58, expected their post 1.61. So that's pretty much a wash. Defensively, opponent starts on the 28, where BYU's opponents were starting on the 26. That's pretty close. And that's pretty identical. Minus 1.12 and minus 1.11. Rush. Rushing defensively and offensively, their stuff rate, yards per rush, and second level is one of the best teams in the country, UCF. Pass, defense, middle of the road average, which is why I think BYU has to win this game in the air. They are extremely better, not even close, on offensive rushing. Their edge on open field rushing yards and yards in the second level are, if they win the game, that's where they win because they're getting to the second level rushing. They win this game.
So I think the what you'll see the analyst on TV with these kind of numbers come in, he'll tell you the game's going to be won or lost on first or second down when the Orlando school has the ball. Because if BYU can get them into third and longs, make them throw the ball, also keep them. If BYU's got to win this game through the air, they can't let Orlando have the time of possession 40 plus minutes, or down the stretch they're going to wear them down.
But see, and that's where I think the elevation and it's not going to be a big of a deal because these kids won't tire as much at 82 feet that they do. Now, I don't play a large role in elevation in college football because you got 11 guys on both sides and they substitute quite a bit.
Right.
College basketball, different story. You got 5 guys, and some of those guys play most of the game or all of the game. So elevation change in college basketball and endurance and things like that, it is a much bigger weighted thing. Football, I'll look at it, but I don't really factor it in too much. But in this case, I would not get as concerned about BYU wearing down because of the elevation. So I would not put too much weight into that. I see where your mind's at. I like where your mind's at. And I agree with you that the first and second down are important, but really the third and fourth down are important. UCF will be going for every fourth down under 3 yards.
Yeah.
BYU has to make 2 to 3 defensive stops in key situations on short third down or fourth down opportunities to win this game. That's my opinion. So from some of the other experts here in the chat, let me just read off kind of what they were saying so you can get a little bit different perspective as well. So Mark is one of our experts here for college football, and he's saying that they're pretty close, which I agree. He thinks that UFC has a better strength of schedule, and it's a very bad travel spot for BYU. As far as travel, yes. Again, we talked about the difference. I think it ends up being a wash. Um, he thinks that the change of quarterback to a mobile quarterback and the travel is the reasons why UFC is favored. He's not touching this game either. He also had this game rated that BYU should be about a 3 to 4 point favorite, which is what I thought as well. So we're pretty much agreeing. But I think neither one of us is going to touch this game for the same thing is something just doesn't fucking smell right. It doesn't smell right,
Mhm.
and I don't want to be on the obvious square play when something doesn't smell right. Look, the old saying is, you see all these lights in Vegas, they weren't built on winners. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. These sports books, go look at the numbers, how many billions of dollars they're making. It isn't because of people going, oh yeah, the obvious play here is BYU. That should be easy, right? People, that's not how they're making all their money. So I think this is a trap game. I'm really nervous. If and this is the way I ask myself, okay, if I don't bet this game and BYU wins, am I going to be that upset? Probably not, because it was so obvious. If I bet BYU and they lose, I'm gonna be pissed because how many red flags do I need before I can say, hey, maybe this is what I shouldn't be doing?
I'm missing something. Yeah.
I'm missing. There's something fucking doesn't smell right. So I'm just going to sit back and look and see. And if BYU wins, I'll be like, hey, I told you so, but I didn't put any money on it. Um, and if a UFC wins, I'll say, hey, I told you so. That's why I didn't put any money on it. So I'm just going to set myself up to be right no matter what here and not bet the game. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I- I'll yeah, I might put some money on BYU, but I'm not good at betting. So, and
If
I just hate the school in Orlando, so I just might do it just to just for shits and giggles. Uh
and here's what I would do if you are going to be on BYU, do it money line. Don't mess with
yeah.
points. You're going to win this game. Is the 2 points ain't gonna matter. You're gonna get plus money. And don't go crazy because I'm telling you, just something doesn't feel. Something's off. Something's wrong. I get that feeling in my stomach, like something's wrong here. Something's off. I'm going to trust my gut and just say we're avoiding this game. But it's
Yeah.
going to be
And it,
very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. BYU loses this game, by the way, they're in trouble to make the playoffs.
oh yeah.
They're in
Yeah.
trouble to make the playoffs if they lose this game. So this is a very important game for that.
They are right now just on Hard Rock. They're plus 115 on the money line.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no
So
reason
that's
to you're gonna
that's the
pay what?
play.
You're gonna pay 25 cents on the dollar more to take a couple points? Fuck that.
No, no,
Fuck
not
that. Yeah,
not
if
a
you do
chance.
make a play here, make the play on the, um, money line. But what I will tell you is if you wanna get cute or you wanna be a little more conservative, you could do a same game parlay here, 2 leg. Take BYU plus, I don't know, 7, 10 points, and then bring this line down somewhere in the 40s. I think if BYU is in this game, again, through there, I mean, less time, more points, I think we lean over. Let me jump on Hard Rock, see if I can see what we can even slap there. I'm not going to bet on this, but I know some of you degenerates don't know how to not bet. So let me just tell you if you're going to bet, what you're going to do.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of
This was
Florida
one of
games to bet on this week. So
what, oh, here it is, 330. So 2 and 115. All right. So if we go same game parlay, spread, BYU, give me 7.5 total points. Let's get this under 50. Let's go 49.5. So they got to get the 50 points. Look, plus 125, and I got a boost. I can get this up to plus 150. BYU keeps it within a touchdown, and there's more than 50, there's 50 or more points. If you're making a bet, that's what you do. BYU keeps us within a touchdown. There's at least 50 points scored in this game. That's plus 125. There's a boost on Hard Rock. Use it. That's what I do. I still want to go crazy. 1 unit, maybe 2 max. But if you have to be on this game, do it that way. I think BYU can definitely keep this within a touchdown.
awesome. All
Is that the
right.
last two?
Well,
All right, good. Good deal.
yeah, we went in depth on those games, and we'll see how it turns out. I'll definitely be texting you, let you know. Apologies, I realized after we filmed this whole episode. Obviously, if you've ever watched me, this is not a location I film any of these shows or podcasts in. So I'm looking down like this the entire time because that's where my screen is. I'm not looking here. I usually have it set up a little different, but blame the hurricane. Uh,
Just
uh,
don't blame the Hurricanes, baby. We need them to put it on.
yeah. Keep the state of Florida relevant in college football.
Yeah.
If Miami,
I'm a big believer that when schools such as Notre Dame, Miami, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Texas, Alabama, when all those schools are well or in the limelight, I think college football is at its peak. So I would love to see Miami in there. I'd love to see Ohio State in there. I'd love to see Texas in there. I'd like to see all those teams in there because I think that really ramps up the excitement and energy in college football. So just to recap before we let them go, and then I'll let you finish here. The official plays that I'm giving you is going to be Navy plus 13 over 55 points on Florida State, Miami, and Texas A&M money line. Now it won't be an official play, but I am placing that band on the LSU Texas A&M game. Either team to keep it within 12 points, and we're winning money.
nice. Well, hopefully everyone watches this before Saturday. Place your bets or don't. That's up to you. Don't bet more than you can afford. All that stuff.
Yeah,
Again,
bankroll
Chad is
money.
here from We Win, You Win. Check out the website. The link's going to be in the show description. You get 21% off your first payment if you use the promo code Jeff. We will hopefully I will probably not be here for the next few weeks, but hopefully we'll have someone here to host this show with Chad. I'm filming a movie, so I've got a good excuse.
Yeah.
Uh
Baller. And you mentioned about the money and betting, and so let me just give my advice there real quick. If you made
Please,
this,
yeah.
if you made this far in the show, thank you. First off, second of all, the way we manage our bankroll is, and I'll use it as $1,000, and then you can based upon what your bankroll is, but $1,000 per week or whatever it is. It's a weekly bankroll, Monday through Sunday, and for every $1,000, 1 unit would be $10. So, for instance, if you had $1,000 bankroll this week, I'm telling you to put $20 on Navy. I'm telling you to put $25 on the over in Florida State. And I'm telling you to put whatever, 15 bucks or whatever it is on Texas A&M. Just, right now, obviously, if you have more than that, you increase and do, but 1% of your weekly bankroll is 1 unit. So when you see that I'm betting, like I just gave you basically 6 units of plays, for every $1,000, you should be risking 60 on those plays, which is why I think a lot of people um, get in bad spots in sports betting because they're betting more than they should based upon the money they have to play. And that's where you get mad, frustrated, depressed. That's not what we're doing, folks. We're here because this is what we love. We're good at it. We're not perfect. So you have to be able to get through the non-perfect. Like for instance, last week is a prime example. We lost our fucking ass last week. It was again, I have no problem saying it because we've 8 weeks in, we've had one losing week. It shit's gonna happen, but it was bad. It's so bad that games we were playing were showing up on Scott Van Pelt's Bad Beats segment. I don't know if you ever
Ooh.
seen that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the worst beat. San Jose State. We had minus 11 and a half, and they were up 3 touchdowns. And the team, with like 40 seconds left, threw like a 70-yard touchdown pass, the backdoor cover. That was pretty bad. But anyway, we'd love to have you in the community. It's, again, not my words, what they say, but it's the best, not just for profitability. We run contests and everything else like that. For instance, this month, we're giving away over $100 in free bets, free membership, all sorts of things. So my thing is, I built a community that I thought that I would love, and then I'm just trying to find people that love the same thing I do. So we keep growing, people keep loving it, and find somebody else that has a 90% retention rate. People come and they don't leave. If you make it through your first month, you're probably a member for life. It's not for everybody. We bet a ton. Look, in the last 3 months, I've posted 884 official plays. So I'm posting like 2 to 300. We're talking on average about 8 to 10 plays a day. It doesn't work out that way because it's like 25 on Saturdays and big plays on Sundays, and during the week it's only a
Right,
couple.
right. Not during football season. The average is skewed.
But yeah, but like let's say during baseball season in the summer, yeah, I mean if for every like say you start with $1,000, I mean you're probably putting a 50 to $100 in play every day. And I'm also, and this is very curious, since we're on the bankroll, is whatever your number is, let's just say it's $1,000, you have to be willing to put that full $1,000 into action. That's what having the bankroll means. Like last week, I mean, most college football weekends, we're putting 30% of our bankroll in play on average. So for every $1,000, you're putting $300 in play.
Yeah.
To give you
Which again, if you
to
have
give
that
you
money set
perspective
aside,
how bad last week was, if you had 1,000 to play with and you put 300 in play, you lost $200 last week. You lost about 20% of your money. That's how bad it was. Now, the reverse is Sunday we made 26% of your money, so you would have made it all back. And Monday we fucking killed it, made like another 20%. So over those 3 days, you should have been up 25% of your money, which is why bankroll management is key because you would have got your teeth kicked in on Saturday, and you got to be able to wake up on Sunday and still fire.
yeah. Yeah. It shouldn't be it's gotta be a mental thing, not emotional.
Yeah, and think about this. Um, I've always been a big proponent, and especially even before I get this, of not paying people for picks because 8 out of 10 people are full of shit and not good. And you can look at the numbers, only about 93% of people, depending on what numbers, but it's within a percentage point of that, are lifetime losers sports betting, which means 7% of the people that bet on sports are actually profitable in the long term. But if you can cut 2 or 3% because 2 or 3% of those people are slightly profitable, like not enough to make a living on it. So the fact that myself and a few of the other experts in our community literally do this as our source of income, maybe you would want to follow or listen to what we have to say. Just a thought. Just a thought. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways,
It's not even casual. It's
no.
it's
No,
your
here's the thing.
livelihood.
I'll be very straightforward. If you were a casual fan, a casual bettor, and you're betting 1 or 2 college games on the weekend, and that's about it, 1 or 2 games on the NFL, we're not for you. We're looking for people who are looking to bet 3, 4, 5 days a week, if not every day. Again, you have to understand that a lot of us are doing this to pay our bills. So no days off kind of thing. And yeah, it's a ton of fun. Like I said, if you're listening to this show right now and you are consider yourself a degenerate or a gambler or a big sports fan, whether you even come in and follow our plays or not, there's so much information that we put out for $40 a month. I do all the work. I put in 30, 40 hours a week into putting out all the information down in crates for everybody. So if you can't afford $40, probably shouldn't be betting on sports is the way I look at it. But anyway,
That's a good point.
I mean, you're in the. I mean, look, Jeff, you're in the community, right? And
Yeah.
you're not very active. You don't bet a ton, whatever. But you see what's going on.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm telling you is not the absolute God's honest truth. Please correct me, but I think I've.
No. Yeah. It's yeah. And I am very casual. So I'm more of an observer of the
Yeah, which
group
is
than
fine.
someone who's putting a ton of bets out there. But yeah, maybe one day. I'm close.
You know what? I get you to come to one of these meetup events, man. So we got this Saturday, we're doing our third one, and then March Madness in Vegas will be our next one. So if you're a March Madness basketball fan, we'll host an event in Vegas for the opening weekend of March Madness, which is the greatest 4 days of betting of the year. Opening weekend, March Madness. And here's an advice that you will forget by then, so I'll remind you, but I'll tell you now and write this down. Bet one unit, whatever your unit is, on every single dog money line, 16 seeds and everything, the first round of the tournament. It is a profitable play for the last 5 years.
Wow.
Yep. So
I
like $100, $20, whatever your number is, every dog, money line, every dog. Here's the thing. You only got to hit a couple of long shots and you make money. So when those 10, 12-point dogs win, the fucking 12 seed wins, right? 12 seeds are beating a 5 seed. You're getting plus 500. You only got to hit a couple of those. But anyways, that's my time. Jeff, I always appreciate you. And
yeah.
we'll
Uh
catch. Well, I'll probably be with somebody next week, but I'll be available next week. We'll do it again.
Awesome. Subscribe to FL Teams, check out wewinwin.com, and we'll see you next time.
And go look at Drunk Jeff Eats.
Oh yeah. Check out Drunk Jeff Eats. I did the chicken Big Mac last week and no one saw it because the algorithm's punishing me. Whole other
I'm
topic.
gonna watch it after this. All right, brother. Love you. See you.
All right.
Peace.